Yo, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Dontez, Akram, and I'm here on the black couch with Dreamshot visuals. Let's get it.
All right, we got Dontez Akram on the black couch with us today. How you feeling?
Doing good, man. How about you?
I'm good. All right, let everybody know where you're from.
So I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, the one and only, the land. Shout out to the land and everybody in it.
For sure. That's a rough city growing up. How was your childhood coming up?
Man, it was definitely tough. I feel the pain of everybody in Cleveland when they talk about their past, and I know mine was definitely different. Just based off me, going from house to house a lot of the times. My mom was a nurse, so she worked at, nighttime majority of the time, 12-hour shifts, so she'd barely be there. So I'm at my grandmother's house, grandfather's house, uncle house, auntie house, bouncing from house to house. And I definitely can say Cleveland molded me to be a figure to where I'm strong and confident no matter what. I'll never fold. So I think that's what Cleveland definitely taught me.
For sure. What was your most traumatizing experience coming up in Cleveland?
Man, my most traumatizing experience, I would say, is just walking down the street and going to, the regular, drug mart or, the store or whatever, and just walking out, and I seen a guy get stabbed right off the bus. And like they dragged him over to me, like next to where I'm at, and I'm just watching blood, going in. The worst part about it is like my peoples actually was driving down the street and they just seen me there. And that definitely traumatized me for sure. It just made me feel like I gotta be very cautious, being in the land. So, yeah.
What age would you say things like started to change for you?
I would definitely say maybe when I got back from Egypt. I used to live there for around 3 years or 4 years now, from 8 to 12. I think things definitely changed for me when I left to go to Egypt, and then when I came back, I was a completely different person, and I thought differently. Poverty and what we see in the United States isn't what it really is like outside in the rest of the world. So when you see real poor, when you see a government that's not helping their people, then you get a different perspective on things.
For sure. What was life like in Egypt?
Man, it was crazy, man. I mean, like I said, you see real poverty, but you also see the beautiful part about the rest of the world. The United States is not perfect. You know what I mean? I think people have this figure in their head that we are perfect, perfect country, when in reality we not. There's beautiful parts of the world. There's great people all around the world. I just think, people haven't been exposed to it. So the more you expose your mind and your vision to the rest of the world, the better ability you're gonna be to, process things throughout your, day-to-day life.
So, tell us, how did you become a successful entrepreneur?
Man, honestly, I actually started off just delivering do-rags in Cleveland. Like, that's pretty much how people kind of found out about me. I would had this beauty supply store literally 5 minutes from my house. And one day I don't know, I was with a friend and we got out the car. I'm just sitting there thinking, I don't know what I was thinking about, but I was infatuated with getting waves and make sure my hair was good. That was something I liked as a kid, like keeping myself up to par. So one day it just popped into my head. I felt like it was God given that, he just told me like start doing do-rags. So I bought a whole bunch of do-rags from the beauty supply store. I started posting them on my Instagram, and people started hitting me up. I used to run deals. I would have certain pitches because I did a lot of sales, so I knew how to sell stuff and talk to people. And honestly, just learning how to do that and starting from ground zero helped me get to the point where I'm at now, where you have multiple businesses that are flourishing. So I think the biggest thing that contributed to me being a successful entrepreneur is just putting in the hustle and then always willing to get my hands dirty.
So how much would you say you started out with when you first took that
leap?
Yeah.
I would say I started with a good $40. So they were actually doing deals on the do-rag, so I would be able to get a do-rag for $3, and then I would just literally buy them up. So I bought my first 10 do-rags, $30, and I flipped it that same day. All 10 do-rags was gone. I think I actually sold it to 3 people, and they bought all of them just to show support. And as I kept doing that, the money just started, doing backflips. You just literally take the money, you put it in, reinvest it, and you keep doing it until your profits get big enough to where, you can stash some on the side or invest it elsewhere.
So what made you want to take the brand to online?
So honestly, with being from Cleveland, I think one thing we got to be really realistic on is that there's billions of people in the world, instead of just focusing strictly on your city. So I went online simply to not only, accommodate to the people in my city by, delivering things or shipping them out, but it made it a lot easier for me to make more money, because when you're focused on the rest of the world and you're not focused on this small population, this small city, you're going to be able to see things from a different perspective, a different lens. So definitely going online was one of the biggest like turning points throughout my life. That's when I learned how to do everything, and it definitely helped me out, getting to this point for sure.
For sure. Did anybody bring it to your attention that you should start doing it online, or that was just all you?
Actually, to be completely honest, having so many people, different people see me each and every day, driving around with a lot of money, it wasn't safe. So, the best way that I could think about solving that was going online and making sure everything is digital. So all the money that I was getting would go to a bank account. So I never get caught with cash or anything like that. So, that was definitely something that I had to do, just to, make sure that I was feeling protected at all times.
For sure. So how did you expand to two businesses?
So two businesses, Snag Rag and One Love Clothing. I actually took all the profits and the knowledge that I got from my first business, Snag Rag. So if you guys didn't know, when I started off delivering do-rags and stuff like that, I turned it into a business called Snag Rag. Once I got that business to around 6 figures, I started figuring out different things that I know I could do again. So that's when I started another brand called One Love Clothing, which I'm rocking now. And I gave 50% ownership to my 3-year-old daughter, Nani. So I think it was very powerful for me to start another business, but to also give her ownership, since all I talk about is generational wealth and ownership. So like doing that and then scaling this business to 6 figures and having multiple 6-figure businesses has put me in a position where I can invest in multiple places and take advantage of different opportunities.
So owning your own business, I know things can get a little hectic. Do you manage everything on your own?
So I actually have a couple of different people who work for me. I have a personal assistant right now. I also have a designer assistant who handles all the editing and video work and anything that I need created on the design side. And then I have a fulfillment center that works for me as well that actually hold all of the inventory for both of my brands. They ship them out, they handle the customer service, they handle the social media pages and everything. So, one thing I always talk about is growing a business, but then outsourcing it, hiring people. And then at that point, I started realizing like, man, I'm putting food on the table for other people now. So, although it's solving my problem, I'm also solving somebody else's problem. And that's how I knew like, being an entrepreneur, being a businessman and a boss, I just knew that was for me.
So in the beginning, when things got rough for you and the sales wasn't doing what they was supposed to, the numbers weren't where they supposed to be, what kept you going?
Man, honestly, what kept me going is just having my daughter. When you got a kid, man, you got a different perspective on things. Like, your hustle is immaculate after that, after you have a kid, because you realize you're not living for just you no more. You got to put food on the table for them. You got to breathe and make sure you can get up and on time and make sure that they fed and dressed and everything for them. So it's like having my daughter being my motivation and just wanting to inspire her to be better and to be better than I was when I was a kid. That's what really motivated me no matter what, whatever downfalls I face, just thinking like my daughter gonna have to face some downfalls at some point. So I want her to see that I'm strong enough to get through it, and so is she.
Did you have that happen a lot in the beginning with the numbers and everything?
I would say like in the beginning, I would learn how to make a rush of money and then things will slow down. And the best way I solve that is just by, focusing on making sure that I have enough stuff in stock, or making sure that, I'm keeping in mind that this particular product is selling the fastest. So I need more of this product right here. So I did have, problems with consistency, but overall it definitely started off pretty good since I already had a clientele in Cleveland and they were just literally just buying from me online. But, different states will start to take a portion of that money as well. So yeah.
For sure. And you said you have a third and a fourth business starting?
Yeah, so I have 5 in total. So I have Snag Rag, which is the do-rag brand. We got One Love Clothing, which is what I'm rocking now. Pure One Clothing, that's dropping next month, so you guys can stay tuned for that. I also sell courses as well, so that's how a lot of people actually know me as well, is just giving out game through Instagram and social media, Twitter, and focusing on giving out as much value as possible. Something I believe in big is like, no matter what, we gonna make sense throughout our life as humans. So by remaining pure and remaining true with your intentions, it's like, how could God like ever be mad at you or anything like that? How can someone not forgive you if all you're doing is trying to help other people? So I got the courses as well to help those who want to start businesses and whatnot. And then I also have a group chat called The Platform. It's a monthly subscription business. Me and my boy Aaron Ball roll it with, but it's an advertising community. So yeah, it's 5 different businesses, a couple other streams of income as well.
So was it hard learning how to use Facebook ads and everything?
In the beginning, it definitely was, just simply because I didn't really understand how the whole advertising world worked. And then you also got to realize with spending money, or to make money, you got to spend some money. So one thing that I didn't notice was when you're spending money, you got to make sure you can read the data that's coming back through Facebook ads. Because you can be spending money on stuff and it all look good, but if you're not reading the right pieces of information, you could be losing money in the entire time. And that's the problem that I ran into. But the way to go around it is keep testing stuff, keep putting more money in. And as you continue to run your business, you have more photo shoots and whatnot, you get better ads, you start figuring out what works and what doesn't work. And then you just keep going down that path.
Sure. So did someone teach you, or did you learn that on your own?
So I actually looked that stuff up on YouTube. I was huge on just YouTube University. I tell a lot of my students that now is, go into a rabbit hole on YouTube, just keep searching different things and keep feeding your mind, keep chasing your curiosity. The more you do that, the smarter you get. And naturally, you'll have the answer to certain problems that you didn't even know just based off of you watching this stuff over and over, or watching it at nighttime before you go to sleep. It's powerful to just soak up as much information as possible and remain a sponge to the game.
All right, so I got a question request from somebody, and they wanted to know, so when your ads get blocked, how do you go about that, and why do ads get blocked?
So ads get blocked simply because of certain policies that Facebook have set aside. This is why I always recommend people to read the policies and rules before you just start throwing stuff up on there. They are quick to just shut you down quick. The way you get around it is by having a friend or a family member who doesn't have the same last name as you. They had to have had the Facebook account for at least a year or longer. And then when you do that, then you can literally go make another ad account under their name, and you can run it like that. Just make sure you don't run the same ad that got originally blocked.
What are your top keys to marketing?
So my top keys to marketing is focusing on branding, staying true to the stuff that I believe in. A lot of people struggle with marketing because they try to, roll with this facade, or they try to make it look like something that is really not. By you being true to yourself and knowing exactly what you have to bring to the table and exactly what you know, and not faking stuff, it makes the marketing a lot easier. So me just focusing on branding, me making sure that my content is ready to go, weeks in advance or even days in advance, it helps a lot with marketing. But also just advertising a lot as well to get my name out there, and doing networking with a lot of different people. Your net worth is your network. So if you don't know nobody, then how you gonna really get anywhere?
When you seen all the money start coming in, were you kind of nervous at first to let everybody know, like, hey man, I just made 6 figures? Or
not really, man. I honestly feel like I celebrate my W's accordingly. And the reason I say that is because a lot of the times you can go throughout your journey and not take one pit stop to have some fun. So one thing that I always say is you gotta enjoy the journey as well. Like, as much as you are focused and hustling, you gotta also make sure that when you see those W's, you gotta make sure you celebrate them, because at the end of the day, life's so short. All of the trials and tribulations you're going through now, at some point that time gonna stop. So you gotta celebrate those down moments. You gotta celebrate those up moments, and it'll make you be humble about everything that you went through.
Would you say Facebook ads placed your businesses where they are at now, or was it really you?
I think it was a combination of both. I think I give myself a lot of credit because I had to figure it out to make it work. But I definitely can say that Facebook ads helped me reach a different audience. So for all the people who have businesses and stuff like that, the reason your business isn't flourishing or isn't doing the numbers you want is because you're focused on the people in your city or state, when you're not realizing that there's billions of people out in the world. And in reality, if I keep it 100 with y'all, the strangers are going to be the ones who support you the most, and also going to be the same people who make you rich. So, by you focusing on your friends and your family and stuff like that who aren't supportive, it's a whole flock of other people, a whole other, percentage or population of people who are willing to buy from you in a heartbeat, but you just don't know how to tap in. So that's why ads is important.
What do you feel like your keys to stand out from everyone are?
My keys is just to remain me. You know what I mean? Like, there is no other me out here. I'm one of one. And that goes to everybody. We all one of one. I think, I'm unique in a way because I can process things differently. And my mind moves at a faster pace. So with me knowing that, I know how to use my strengths, and I know what my weaknesses are. So what makes me different from the most is just, or from the other people, is just I hustle different, and I grind different, and I focus on different things, and I explore different areas of life. So by just being like that, man, it gives you a different type of persona. People look at you differently, and I think that's why people look at me the way they look at me.
All right, what would you say the best advice given to you was from somebody else?
I think the best piece of advice anyone's ever given me is, man, to just remain humble, stay pure, and honestly just live life how you want to. You know, life is so limited, and at the end of the day, our 24 hours at some point is gonna run out. So you got to take advantage of every 24 hours that you can possibly, get. And with that being said, you got to hustle at a different level of everybody else if you want to be in your own lane and unique and be memorable. You know what I mean? So the best piece of advice is that, you know what I mean, just remain focused on you, stay true to yourself, and hustle, more than anybody. Don't take it as a competition, but compete with yourself from yesterday, today, the week before, the month before, the year before. That should be your only competition.
With that being said, what's some of the best advice you can give to your fans, supporters, people looking up to you?
The best piece of advice I can give y'all is fail fast. Fail as fast as possible. The reason I say that is because, again, the more stuff you don't know, and it's really handicapping you by not knowing it. So by you failing fast, you're learning what not to do next time. You keep doing that, and the chances of you failing again get slimmer and slimmer. So you keep going down that route, and you get to the point where you're not perfect, but you at least know the answer to most of the problems. So that's really is. If you don't know the answer to it, know where to go find the answer.
What can the people expect from you in the near future?
So what you guys can expect from me in the near future is these next clothing brand coming out, and hopefully in August. Rental properties, I'm gonna be talking about that stuff a lot more on social media. Passive income is very important for me, and assets. And honestly, just a lot more interviews, a lot more photo shoots, and just a lot more of just me being out there, being exactly who I am, but the rest of the world get to see for sure. So yeah.
Where can the people, the fans, the supporters, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, so you guys can find me on Instagram _TheRealTez, as well as Twitter, Dontez Akram, which is just my first and last name. And then you guys can check me out on YouTube as well. Dontez Akram is my first and last name as well. But you guys should tap in for sure if you're trying to catch these gems.